Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com here. I've got 8 Chilean Pinots to get through. Can't get them all in one video because I talk too much, but I managed to get them over 2. So I'm doing 4 first. Chilean Pinot Noir. Well, 10 years ago there were very, very few of them. A company called Connoisseur was probably doing some, those were available, but there really weren't too many others that were anything much to speak about. Some people were doing them, but they weren't good. But what's happened since then is people have been exploring cooler vineyards, their vines are a bit older, the winemakers are a bit older, they're a bit more experienced with working with what can be a really bit of a git of a grape. And the wines are all the better for it. There are a few bandwagon jumpers, of course there will be, in anything that's a success. But for me, £10 Chilean Pinot, there's not many other places in the world that have as many that are of as good quality. That doesn't mean they're as good as the Cabernets for me yet. Some of them are, a lot of them aren't. But yes, it's interesting to watch, and you talk to the winemakers about Pinot and you see like a light go on in their eyes. You talk to them about some other varieties and they sort of go, yeah, we make this, we make that, but Pinot Noir, and suddenly, ding! They spring to life. Let's see if I spring to life with this one. Emiliana Reserve Pinot Noir from Casablanca. Casablanca is a region that I think it was first planted in the mid-80s or something like that. Chile's been a lot of history of grape growing that goes back, middle of the 19th century. But Casablanca was only really planted in the I think mid-80s, and it's the area between Santiago and the coast. And people thought it was a bit cool for growing grapes, but now it is the place for a lot of white wines and some pretty good red ones too. Right, what I like about that, it doesn't feel like it's trying too hard to impress. We're going up in price order. This one's £8, that one's 10 and maybe 10 and a bit. It's quite rich wine. I think it's, 14% alcohol. It's got this quite a wealth of red fruit, no black fruit flavours here. It's like, but really mature. Have you ever had one of those cherries? One of those strawberries that's overripe and it's just gone a bit squashy. It's got those sort of flavours. Very ripe strawberries, very ripe cherries. And it's got a really quite nice mouthfeel to it. It doesn't feel like it's overripe. It doesn't feel like it's over oaked. It feels like there's a touch of smokiness from something there. Maybe that's a bit of oak, but it's nicely handled. Can't complain about that for an £8 Pinot. Next two are from the Emiliana winery, and this one, 2009, from the Rapel Valley. Now, the Rapel Valley, there is no such thing as a typical Rapel Valley characteristic because it's a vast place. It takes in, I think, what they call the Cachapual and Colchagua valleys, and so Colchagua is one of the places that makes honking great Carmenaires. But if you go to the coastal end, it's chilly, and obviously it's chilly, but it's really very cold. So it doesn't say anything on here about where the vineyard is from, but apart from it being in the foothills of the Andes. Well, most of Chile's vineyards are in the foothills of the Andes. Now, it doesn't smell as concentrated. It's not as deep in colour, and yes, it smells like it's going to be a lighter, more delicate wine. Delicate sometimes means better. Delicate means sometimes there's not very much substance there, and can we move on to the next one? So let's see which one it is. It's more of the delicate and not huge amount behind that for me. It's got this red fruit edge. It's slightly lighter. I think it's 1 degree lighter in alcohol. Yeah, 1 degree lighter. So the similar red cherry and red berry flavours. But yeah, I miss a little bit of the Pinot Noir for me. Pinot Noir should be sexy. Pinot Noir should just make you sort of go, ooh. Knee-trembling wine, and this for me is correct wine. It's the sort of wine that I would love to have on a summer day. This is a picnic wine. It's got a screw cap, that's one thing, but you could chill it down a bit. Nice outdoor wine, but for me, not great Pinot Noir, but £8, £8 Pinot Noir. Can't complain about it at the price, but I marginally prefer the Emiliana. This is another one from Anacaina, the Una from Casablanca. We're back in Casablanca again. Now the interesting thing here is that it's only 88% Pinot Noir. I think it's got a little bit of Merlot in, a little bit of Syrah, but it's also got some Viognier in there. Now Syrah is usually the grape that they blend some Viognier into. Well, I say to give it a little bit more cleavage. Sometimes Syrah can be a bit stern and you want to give it a little bit more it factor. Well, for me, Pinot Noir should have the it factor to start with. Why do you need Viognier? Is it a bit like wine on steroids? Let's give it a see and find out. Well, it smells okay. It smells like it's got a nice rich red fruit edge. It does smell like it's got some voluptuous characters. But it doesn't make me want to go, ooh, I need to drink this. Yet. I almost find that too correct. Both of these wines, it feels like there's a winemaker who lacks a little bit of confidence in just letting his fruit be, and has been very, very hygienic in his treatment. Can't fault him for that, but in the process has maybe just lost a little bit of the funky edges that I really want in Pinot. Maybe those other grape varieties in there have added to that character. Maybe in the winemaking he lost a little bit of something and needed those other things to add the edges that had been lost, but hey, done that. Final wine, Taboli. Well, I said that Casablanca used to be the place for, well, it still is the place for a cooler edge, a cooler face of Chile. A lot of the great white wines of Chile still come from Casablanca, but in recent years there's a couple of places quite a long way north of Casablanca that have been making an impact. Well, not two places. If you go quite a long way north, you find these, I think there's about 3 or 4 valleys where they've been grown grapes for a long time, and but they've not been grapes for wine. They've been grapes for pisco, the local spirit, which is grape brandy, and pisco sour is one of the great drinks in the world. It's one of those classic 1's just right, 2's too many, 3's not enough type of drinks. But some people have started planting grapes for wine in the Pisco valleys, and there's 2 of them in particular, Limari and Elchi, that have been making a name for themselves. This one's from Limari and from the Taboli winery. Well, I smell it, and it's got more profound. You know, what was she called? Eartha Kitt, that singer who had those deep bass tones that sort of made you go ooh. Feels like it's going to have a bit of the Pinot Noir naughtiness here. Yeah, it's more voluptuous, coffee in with the cherries, a bit of kirsch. What's the alcohol here? 13.5%. It feels like it's going to be quite potent, but it feels like it's still going to go. It's going to wink at you. It still feels like it's got a bit of uncoiling to do, but it's starting to do it, and it's got a nice touch of oak. The oak's adding this was like a coffee cream edge to it. This fruit is gentle and sweet, and it's one of those that, yeah, I think this is a wine, probably my favourite of the 4 by, well, actually it's my favourite by quite a way. But also for me, it's the wine that I feel has got the most potential. I think this is the wine I'm going to watch and wink at over the next few hours, just to see where it goes. It may just stay at this stage, at which point it's still very good wine, but I've got a feeling that there are hidden depths. Give it another go. Yeah, I like that. Have a look at the comments that I put on the website, because I'd always do my tasting notes on the website underneath these videos. But I think that that's the one that is the sexiest for me and the greatest potential and favourite.